Hello, welcome back to another episode of SLAB Talk. It is Wednesday, July 26, 2017. Whenever I submit a batch to CGC, I pay attention to the online update to tell me, where the books are as far as the process that they're in. And I found out that my books were graded Thursday night. I think Thursday night was when I found out that everything are ready for me to pick up. And so first thing I called was Friday morning to schedule a pickup. But I also aware that San Diego Comic-Con is going on, and whenever there's a convention or whenever there's a convention, most likely CGC kind of block off certain days so that you can't pick up because they need to travel, they need to unpack all that stuff. So when I call Friday morning and I say, well, when is the soonest I can pick up? The soonest for me was today at 10:30. So made my appointment, and now we are on our way to pick up the books. I already know the grade because for those that submit the books, and you can check online and know the results. So I already know what the results are, and for the most part, I would say that I was spot on. Pretty happy with the result. There was one disappointment. There was one book that I was wrong by 2 level. Okay, so I will show that book. I look at the notes, and the notes was pretty weak, but it is what it is. There was, I think, 3. Usually, when a book is within one grade, like if I think a book is a 9.4 and it turned out to be a 9.2, I'm okay with that, because for every book that I thought is a 9.2 that end up being a 9.0, there's another book that I thought was a 9.2 that is a 9.4. So you take the upside along with the downside. So no biggie. So I think for most of the books I submitted, I'm trying to remember how many. Was it 15? I already pre-sold 4 of them, so I need to bring them home and pack them and ship them right away. I don't like to keep my customer waiting. Let's see. Well, I think I submit 15 total, and I think one disappoint where I was off by 2 level, and then most were spot on, and then I think 3 were on the high end of my expectation. On some of the books I thought, this book is a lock at 9.6, but there's a chance at 9.8, and that happened on 3 of the books where I thought, okay, I think I'm pretty confident on this grade, but there's the chance, could be slim, that it could be higher, and they were higher. So that was it. But because I'm going up there, I thought I might as well as pick out some books to submit as well. Don't want to waste a trip, right? There's no point on driving up there and then pick up some books and not leave some behind. So I went through the collection last night and picked out 3. It was late, I was tired, I just didn't feel like spending hours in a room digging through the drawers to see which ones were slabbing or not. But I picked out 3 that I thought, given what's going on with the movies, might as well slap them, take advantage of the the uptrend, right? And perhaps cash out on those books, and then I can always repurchase some of them later. So what book was it that I picked out? I picked out 3. Okay. One was Fantastic Four 52, Black Panther. I have 2 copies, of that book, and I picked they're all around. Both of them are about the same grade. I think this one is 6.0 or 6.5. Okay, so 6.5 would be the top end. 6.0 would be what I would sell it raw if I were to sell it raw. But there's a chance at 6.5, so why not slab it and then I don't have to think about that. The other book was, of course, another copy of Spider-Man 300. Since I'm auctioning off my 9.6 CBCS copy in my next and first live auction, I figured might as well slap another copy. This one I don't believe will be a 9.6. Okay, this one to me is a solid 9.4, but who knows? When it comes down to Spider-Man 300, that one is, I think it's not easy to grade, because if you are a new grader, right? If you're a new grader and you're not familiar with that book, or those that are familiar with that book, there's many copies of Spider-Man 300 that have the jagged edge on the right side. The way that book was produced and cut, there are many. I mean, I have owned probably 6 copies of that book in my lifetime, and 4 of the 6 had that jagged edge on the right side. Okay, 4 of the 6, or more than half of my copies that run through my collection have had that. So we'll see. We'll see how new the graders are and how they look at those flaws. And then on top of that, on the back cover of the Spider-Man 300 is the all black covers. And for those that are also familiar with that book, when you have a black cover, sometimes you can get scratches. Okay, it's not creases or color breaking creases, but if you look at it, you can see a few scratches here and there. So depending on how the grader view that, the book can be 9.4, 9.2. I think it's a 9.4, but we'll see how close I am. It's always fun to predict what the grade is and see how close I am. I just got the beep that the memory card is almost full, so I gotta end the video abruptly. So anyhow, thanks for watching. Until next time, bye bye.